At 3 a.m. on October 2nd, 2021, I woke up with an awful headache. Before that day in October, I was in perfect health. Of course, I got the occasional cold or motion sickness. I had strep throat here and there, but I was never held back by my body, just by my motivation to do something. I never thought about my health and how blessed I was to be able to go about life without being held back by it, without being in pain or always tired. But all that changed in a second on that early October morning. That morning, I awoke to an awful pain at the base of my head. It was unusual, as I only really got headaches in the car or when under a lot of stress. I tossed and turned for a few hours before I finally fell back asleep. But the next morning, it wasn't gone. And it still wasn't gone the next morning, or the one after that. The entire day, from the moment I woke up to the moment I drifted back off to sleep, I had a debilitating headache. I had a constant throbbing pressure in my temples and burning at the base of my head. I tried all the over-the-counter medications, but they did nothing. It was nearly impossible to concentrate on anything, or even keep my eyes open. The light bothered me, and I was so physically tired. Per doctor's recommendation, we scheduled an emergency appointment with a neurologist, but we couldn't get in until the end of the month. Once it got too unbearable, we went to the emergency room. And we went again, and again, but every time I left nearly the same as I was when I went in. I had a multitude of scans, but they showed nothing. I wasn't going to school. I could barely pass the time by watching TV. Every hour that went by was agonizing, waiting for the relief of sleep. When we eventually met with the neurologist, she sent us to Boston Children's Hospital. But there it was the same as all the other hospitals. I was admitted and went through a grueling set of injections in the hospital for a week before we gave up, since there was no change. We found an emergency medication that helped some, and we waited until we got an appointment at the Boston's headache clinic. I still had my daily headache, and I couldn't stand bright lights, harsh sounds, or pungent smells. I was home most every day, either in bed with all the lights out or mindlessly watching TV. And when we got to the clinic, I was finally diagnosed. New daily persistent headache, NDPH. Any known cause? No. Any sure treatment? No. Recovery time? Unknown. For some people, it goes away within a couple years, and for some, it never goes away at all. After being healthy my whole life, I was suddenly diagnosed with a neurological disease. Now, I'm not telling you this to seek pity. This is simply my story, but I wanted to share with you what I've learned from this. Now, it's been over a year, and I certainly am far better from when it all started. I can do work and go to school. I can go outside and drive a car. I even went to my first concert and prom. But daily life is hard for me now. Since that fateful October day, I've also been diagnosed with fibromyalgia and hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. These conditions cause me to have widespread pain throughout my body, whether it's in my muscles or joints. Even though I'm no longer laying in bed all day, I'm constantly tired enough that I want to. Some days, the pain in my legs is so bad that I have to use a cane just to get around. My memory has been affected where I can no longer remember details from last week or easily express myself when talking. Sometimes it's difficult to even lift my arms to draw. And I still often wake up with a headache and go to sleep with a headache. So I certainly still do have bad days and struggle to get through them. But thankfully, I'm also gifted with good days, times that I am pain-free. Through this experience, I've realized that we are living in a very self-centered world. If they aren't experiencing it themselves, no one bothers to take the time to understand what you are going through. No one asks how they can better support you. They only ask how this will affect them, or even why are you bothering them with this in the first place. I've lost friends because of my health. My condition didn't just come with an array of physical symptoms. it also came with the burden of dealing with the hard-hearted world around me. Coming down with this condition opened my eyes to all the other people in this world going through something limiting and the discrimination they experience. Did you know that 1 in 4 people in the United States are disabled? It could be a physical limitation, like paralysis or pain that requires a mobility aid and limits people's movements. It could be the loss of a sense, like being blind or deaf, that affects how people interact with the world. It could be a mental disability, like depression or autism, that affects people's motivation or way of seeing the world. It could be an invisible disability, like I have, that isn't necessarily obvious but greatly affects the person. Or it could be something different entirely, as there are countless disabilities out there. In my opinion, empathy and compassion are some of humanity's most incredible traits. The ability to truly seek to understand someone else's situation in order to make them feel loved, appreciated, and cared for. We have the ability to comprehend someone else's situation. We just simply don't take the time. And you see this everywhere. When I was visiting colleges, I came across many that weren't mobility friendly. Maybe they didn't have easily accessible ramps, or they had no available elevators. You see the lack of empathy in how people treat the disabled. For someone who uses a service animal, they constantly have to deal with the general public distracting or touching their animal. It only took a global pandemic to implement disability-friendly practices like Zoom and mask wearing. And even this was a huge difficulty for America. We have such a lack of empathy and love for what's around us. We learn to read, write, count, create, and even calculate the cosine of pi. But we don't learn to appreciate the people and the world around us, to understand and commiserate with others. We are living in such a beautiful world, yet we take advantage of it and destroy it. This piece is a gouache painting I made last summer. Ever since I came down with my condition, I've been wearing sunglasses. Outdoors, indoors, whenever the light is bothering me. And suddenly I realized how beautiful the trees are. Wearing sunglasses turns down the brightness, but when you turn down the brightness of colors, they become more vibrant. So through my sunglasses, I've been seeing an even more beautiful, colorful world. And that is why I named this piece Through My Eyes. So what has this entire experience taught me? It's taught me to be grateful for every good day and live them to their fullest, because you never know how or when your life could change. It's taught me that being healthy is a privilege. It's a privilege we hardly think about. I know for sure that when I sat down for Thanksgiving years before, I wasn't thankful for my health. People who have disabilities must fight to put in extra effort to do even the small things in life. But people who don't fight for them never think about them. I'm grateful that I can get out of bed in the morning. I'm grateful that I can take care of myself, that I can brush my teeth and dress myself. I'm grateful that I can walk up a set of stairs and run to my heart's content. I'm grateful that I can eat what I want to eat and dance along to my favorite songs. I'm grateful that I can see, hear, touch, smell, and experience the world around me. My condition isn't set in stone. If anything, it's just a big question mark. So I don't know what the next day, the next month, or even the next year will be like. But really, it just put my life into perspective. I used to be so focused on the singular year, the singular grade, the singular assignment. But now I've stepped back to see the whole picture. What's the point of stumbling through life, doing stuff you don't love to do? Things that don't make you happy or lead to a bigger goal. I certainly no longer have the energy for that. Life is too short and unpredictable to not take advantage of what you have now, to not see past high school. What do you really want to do with your life? What will make you happy to see this day through to the next? and wake up the next morning with a smile. I never thought my life would be changed so drastically before that October morning, and I never know what's going to happen next. But now I live every day to its fullest. I have to, because if I didn't, if I don't remind myself to see the good between the bad, I would fall apart. So I'm grateful for every good day. I'm grateful for the times I'm pain-free, and I'm grateful for the people and the things that make me smile, no matter how small.